Welcome one and all to the thrill and chill of the FUFA Drum. The semi-final stage beacons, radiates and will most certainly radiate above the sea level. And look at the view from the Soroti Stadium across the Pearl of Africa, bringing you the semi-final stage after a long wait. The FUFA Drum returns live on your screens there. FUFA TV, the home of Ugandan sport, brings you this exciting action. Of course, brought to you by MTN, Nile Special, Rock Boom, and Bet Power as the official broadcast sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Match Day Live, and we shall be live from the Soroti Stadium, bringing you one of the semi-final fixtures this evening. That is, of course, TESO hosting BUSOGA province. And this game, of course, did take place last time round in the FUFA Drum, where TESO stunned BUSOGA at the home grounds all the way in Iganga. This time round, will coach John Michael Erebu be able to replicate the same thing that happened last time round? With me in studio to answer those heavy questions, Tendo Nikta Mosoke and Gordon Bule, and they are aching. They are definitely aching for this game to begin. Gentlemen, Tendo, Bule, I know you guys are excited for the drum. I'll let you guys take the center stage because me, I'll start singing a song after the end of 90 minutes. Depending on whether the result will go one way or the other.
Which one way? There is no one way or the other for you. It's
Why is
one
it?
way.
Which way is that?
Pata?
Yes.
Everyone who knows the geography and the symbolism of the names
Yes.
knows exactly where your allegiance falls.
I hope I'm not going to be falling on that huge rock there in Soroti. Bule,
Yeah.
welcome to center stage.
Yeah.
We're at the semi-final stage now.
Good day it is.
Yeah.
Good day it is for the game. TESO, BUSOGA, I bet they are just going to get their acquaintances sorted out in this game day. But TESO having the advantage when they met in the first leg in 2022, TESO got the upper hand in Iganga. Maybe today, being at home as TESO, they can really get the advantage going for them.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a tough one. Both teams missing their star players.
Right.
That is Tommy Ikara in goal and then Laban Tibita for BUSOGA province. How are they going to handle the game?
Yeah.
Just wait and see what is going to happen.
And this game, of course, holds a lot in terms of what these two teams have done so far this season. Of course, TESO topping the group in a group that we could have expected a different opponent to be on top of the group, but they topped the group as TESO in a group that had Acholi and Ankole. On the other side, BUSOGA looked like they put up a good performance with only one win, and that win coming against West Nile, the champions of the FUFA Drum. Tendo.
Yeah, that was a big statement, and that is the reason why this game is very exciting. Otherwise, if you go into the history of the FUFA Drum, this would easily be a TESO chance to actually go into the final. But that win that BUSOGA delivered against West Nile, the defending champions, was in no means a statement that the BUSOGA team has risen up to actually challenge. And this semi-final placing is very, very sumptuous for both sides,
Right.
because there is nothing that can threaten either side, so they can easily dream to be in the final. They would have quaked if probably one of them had faced West Nile or Lango. So the other one is going to be sorted differently.
Yes.
So they all have a chance to have their chance to be in the final. And you never know, in the final, it's something different.
It's something
so
different
I think this is a good placement for both of them.
Yes.
Irrespective of the fact that, of course, they are missing some players. The good thing is they are balanced out, the goalkeeper and one of the main architects. And,
Tibita.
Yeah, Tibita. So
And yes.
Tommy Kara being away and then Tibita being away is more a cancelled thing.
Many would have liked Laban Tibita to be walking out of that bus with the BUSOGA province, but unfortunately, he's not going to be around for today's
with
fixture.
the Kara.
Same thing with Tommy Kara. Of course, that is the BUSOGA province
Yeah.
gearing up, ready for today's game. Bule.
They should be because they know what is at stake. BUSOGA province, most of the lads here, the federation gave them a nod to take the title in this edition. I believe they have the squad. When you look at how they dismantled West Nile, they're ready. Definitely the players need to ask themselves more in this game. I believe the players ready, the fans should be around to spur BUSOGA in this away game. But the best advantage can be for BUSOGA being away. If you can manage to handle the game properly well, when you're away, then you go back at home, maybe in Kamuli Park, it will be good. Or Kamuli Institute, it will be good for you as BUSOGA province. But it's going to be a tough task. That man on the screen, Nordin Bunjo, can be the chief architect of this game, but many lads in the TESO team that can really get the game going for TESO.
Yeah, they look very chilled and calm for this game, Tendo.
How Bule deliberately chose to pick out Nordin Bunjo when in the forefront is Ogwang.
Ogwang, yeah, I'm also wondering.
To try and not scare you, you really played us a funny card when you said that your allegiance is 50-50, when we know very well
Tendo,
that.
let me go.
So probably Bule does not want to tell you the man in the forefront, whatever architect style Bunjo is going to bring, it has to fall to Isaac Ogwang, who has been firing on all cylinders at police, and I think he's one of the bright lights in a season where you would struggle to find 5 good strikers in the country.
Right.
Yeah, he's one of that bright lights, and him being younger, because the others are a little on the other side of their careers. Nelson Senkatuka, Fred Amaku, Karim Dugwa. Those are the ones I could get off my head if you asked me about potent strikers. And you think that Isaac Ogwang, having had chances at Sports Club Villa when he was just signed from Spartans, and then he comes, he does not perform very well, but of course it was a team that was not very, very perfectly set up. And then he went away and had chances in Arua and then back at Police. You think that now he's getting into that age where a striker becomes dangerous. Then the opposite side, Isaac, another Isaac, Wagoina, one now that is in the same footsteps that Isaac Ogwang was in when he was just coming at Sports Club Villa. The difference is his delivery is a little more than that of Isaac Ogwang, because if you look at Wagoina now, his career is more the same trajectory Isaac Ogwang was at Sports Club Villa. But that was a season where he delivered just 3 and 4 goals. But now when you look at what Wagoina is doing to Express FC, you think that he might actually challenge in future as one of those, not a directly out and out striker, but one who will always be at the end of chances. And of course his set piece prowess, penalty, very calm penalty taker. You would think that if there was a penalty in this world at the moment, you would bet Isaac Wagoina to score it at any level in the league from what I've seen him do. He's very calm and a ruthless finisher of penalties, and Bule being a goalkeeper will tell you, a player who does not strike the ball with venom, you don't know where he's going to place it, is a very difficult player to even tackle in a penalty situation. So that is what defines these games, and the supply line has to be adept at what these players can do. We have seen Isaac Ogwang doing a lot more of individualism, trying to conjure up goals for Police when everything looks like it's not working, like that goal against Blacks Power. And we've seen Wagoina also, like in the goal, the breakaway goal against Vipers. I think that was the highlight of his. That is something I had not known him for since I started looking at how his game is progressing. That breakaway goal when he left Murshid Juko in space and then went and squeezed the ball beneath the body of the goalkeeper explains exactly how Alexis Abidi has tuned him into a different striker. So you think that that is going to be mostly the talking point on both sides. Who is going to deliver the goals? Because at the semi-final stage, if you fail to deliver the goals, it will take you into aggregate and then eventually penalties.
And with your statement, it might be a different story, Bule. Battle of the Isaacs today. Who is going to come out as the better Isaac? Isaac Ogwang, of course, the top scorer of Police and one of the top scorers of the FUFA Big League. On the other side, Isaac for Express has actually been doing very well, Isaac Wagoina, as one of the top scorers for Express, and he looks like he's had a progressive season for the Red Eagles.
For a striker, it isn't defined by a game day, but his form in that game day is what defines him in that moment. If the Isaacs are both on form, we are going to see a ghost galore. Or if they're into the game for today's encounter, they can give us a spectre. Maybe Isaac Ogwang wanting to score again, because in this FUFA Drum, he's been one of the top-notch strikers, getting in goals home and away. They dismantled Ankole home and away, and he was part of that setup. But you look at Isaac Wagoina, he has been superb in the team for Express. But coming to the FUFA Drum, yes, he's produced the goals, but still you look at him and say he's missing a bit. I can't compare him to Ogwang right now, and I would put Ogwang ahead of Ogoina in today's game, in a battle between the two Isaacs, as you have spoken about it. But basically for a striker, they can come, you are on an away game like Isaac Ogoina, you produce the magic. He has what it takes to just do it for Busoga Province, and it's going to be a hell of a game because Busoga Province know what's at stake. They have failed to win the title, even with their good squad from the first edition.
Yes.
Quarters in the last edition, they need to do better as Busoga Province.
And putting all that into context, Tendo, you look at these two teams, they've had sort of a problem with their defensive abilities, particularly with TESO. We've spoken about it in the previous games, having left back and right back mostly playing in that centre back position. For Busoga as well, of course, with a couple of experienced players, they're still having trouble with the defense. Is that going to be a worry for both teams today?
It is definitely a worry, and the fact that we are all concentrating on the strikers explains exactly what we expect. Yeah. Because there is not going to be any question of how Isaac Wagoina or Isaac Ogwang fail to deliver. Why? Both defenses have not been the best. When you look at both sides, it has been an aspect of team going forward and outscoring the opponents. When you look at TESO, for instance, their predicament is even worse now. They don't have the goalkeeper, and they might not have Willa Poe, who I last heard had gone abroad to try and secure a career abroad. So having been there as one of the right-sided fullbacks playing in the central defense alongside Eric Senjobe, now that is even not there, it even brings more question marks. How are they going to set up? If they set up in the same way, again, they'll have a big weakness because they will have probably a stopper, a natural stopper, and then a left-sided sweeper, which could be a little hard. So John Michael Rebu has a lot of thinking to do. The same thing that you would mention about Charles Ayeko, because yes, the defense again of Busoga has also been 50-50. We've seen them trying to conjure up tactics to try and patch it up using many players, but the standout performer should be the experienced Isaac Isinde. Fortunately for them, this game has come at a time where he has had a break. We saw him being used sparingly in Busoga United, missing the game against Bull and then coming to play a good game the next day. So it is at that stage in his career where you actually choose the games he has to play calculatively so that he helps you. Now, this first leg is a game that has come when they are in the break. So probably he has all his energies at high level. So probably this is the game where he has to deliver a lot. Right. Even if it's an away game, he has to deliver and try to patch up, and you would relish to see the altercation between him and Isaac Ogwang, because the way Isaac Ogwang is playing and the movements and all that, you would think that it should be seen trying to patrol him and then see what the others around him can do to pick up the crumbs. Right,
and that on our screens there is, of course, the Busoga Province warming up under the head coach, that is Charles Ayeko. Of course, that is the assistant coach of Busoga Province. But Charles Ayeko has been in and around Ugandan football, particularly recently getting the head coach job of Kampala Queens and being part of the Crested Cranes as the interim head coach. He comes back now into the fold of the Busoga Province head coach. What is he going to do this evening to try and handle the likes of Isaac Ogwang and, of course, the other players that might be a problem to Busoga Province?
When you look at the players for Busoga Province, they are good to go. Yeah. My pick-up player can be Jerome Chia. He scored a goal versus TESO in their last meeting. He should be superb in this game. And when you look at his goal and assist ratio in the FUFA Drum of this edition, is top-notch. So Jerome Chia can do the damage to TESO. That is what to Charles Ayeko. With the players like Mogulusi, Bakari Magunda in the back line, he's good to go. There's no qualm about it. The squad is there. Amos Chira also in the squad. The goalkeeper Didi. These players have been together. Even Tibita, who is a part of the Gaddafi team, Mbarara City FC team, they should be good to go. They've been around themselves, they've been together for quite some time. Just get the job done. As Busoga Province, you're one of the favorites. As far as sources are concerned, just do the job, get it done. Maybe a 1-1 versus TESO away, and then you go at home, finish it off. But it's going to be a difficult one.
It's going to be a difficult one, Bule, and if they manage to get a draw today, it could be a worry for Busoga Province, because the second leg of the quarterfinals against Toro, they had to go all the way to penalties. Tendo, you remember that game where they had to finish it off in the dying minutes of the penalty stage? Could that be a problem for the squad and a coach like Charles Ayeko, the team not being able to handle that adversity in such a big game?
At that moment in the league, it was a problem because the nature of the Busoga game is a ground ball stature, and at that time when the tournament reached that stage, there was rain all over. It was El Nino, and you remember that game had to be played twice. Yes. It was washed away in the first time, and then again they played under very harsh conditions in terms of playing football on the ground. And now that it's a dry season, you think that there is no excuse. The pitch could have some dry patches, but it's not. It doesn't look like a bumpy one. It looks like a well-kept one by Ugandan standards. Of course, not fully green, but it looks like a good surface. So you think that all the players that Busoga have can have that element. Same way with TESO. The reason this game could be easy, actually, for Busoga is because TESO also want to play the same kind of game. And in that aspect, I don't think there is any team that can beat a team from Busoga in playing a one-touch football. I've seen it over the years, and you would think that if this FUFA Drum had been there so many years ago, Busoga would be having many trophies. If you remember, so many players that have come from that area. There was a time where the whole team, actually, in the national team and all the big sides, had like 4, 5, 6 Busoga players. And this is exactly the challenge for Ayeko. When you look at that squad, you cannot easily pick the starting 11. They all seem to have the same capabilities. Right. They have the same skill, the same kind of energy and all that. They're all influential in their sides. And you would easily fail to pick out a combination that can deliver perfectly, especially now that there is no Laban Tibita. Laban Tibita is a very young boy, but the difference he has with all these players is he's very decisive. He can decide anything on his own, and that is what can decide games like this. So the onus is upon players like Chiria, Jerome Chiria, Amos Chiria, and all the others to try and do something extraordinary, something that we used to see on the likes of Akim Magumba, the likes of Stephen Bogere, the likes of Alexis Abirie, the likes of Ronald Mugabe, the likes of Bashir Dogu. Those players who had that exquisite input in a game itself, because this game is going to be very close. You would think that the player who can go the extra mile to try and do some exquisite stuff can actually decide this game. And you would think Laban Tibita had that element in him. Now that is not there, someone has to step up and be counted.
Yes, and actually, speaking of how close this game is, we did put up a question on our X handle, and the question was 2 hours to kick off. Who do you back to take the first leg advantage? The results are in. The votes are in with a couple of votes. TESO Province with 43% has voted. Busoga Province with 44% and a draw with 13%. You can see clearly how close the fans out there are anticipating this game to be, Bule.
Yeah, it's a close one. Close one, and getting trouble in deciding because Busoga.
So we'll go there and also vote.
Yeah.
Go there, but the votes have been closed. You can't vote anymore. You can vote on the set, not there.
As TESO is at home, I'll give them that home advantage. They should go on and win this game, but I expect Busoga Province to get their A game today. At least try and win or try to score some few goals. Yeah. It can be hard for them being away. TESO being at home, just get it done. You have your star players. You have Bunjo, you have Begisai around, you have Senjoro around, Oseru, Agwang around, plus other players who can really get it done, plus Ivan Eyam, who scored versus Busoga in their last encounter. So they should be game ready for today.
Talking about Oseru. Yes. Even a Seno could be around.
Yeah.
Because he just signed for Bull, he might be around. And
possibility.
You never know, he could have an SA combination to back Ogwang.
Yeah.
It's going to be a sumptuous game.
Of course it is. Let us go for a very short break. Of course, there is so much to talk about in terms of the FUFA Drum. This is the first leg of the first semi-final live on FUFA TV. The match is going to be at Soroti Stadium, and kickoff is at exactly 4 p.m. You can be sharing us your updates and what exactly you expect from this game, and you can use the hashtag FUFA Drum on X and of course on Instagram and on Facebook. We shall be back for more.